Genesis 50. But first, I play a video so I can share everything. And
I mostly listen to teachers on my way to work though. My first
Stay there. Don't move. Stop moving around. Okay, bye. No. Let us see.
all right. Okay. Yeah, okay. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This is the Hebrew Chosen Elect, Wilmington, Delaware Shabbat class that we hold week in, week out every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. I want to start by giving all praise, glory, and honor Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. And send blessings that's bless everybody in the name of God, whose name is Yahweh. Bless everybody by Yahweh, which is the true name of God, in the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, who is Jesus the Christ. Hope everybody's week has been going well. Living here in Babylon, everybody's maintaining, staying up in the spirits, growing in this truth. And I hope everybody's Shabbat is being it's been a blessing so far, and that we're all keeping it in the spirit of truth and righteousness, and it's been good so far. We're gonna pick back up this week in our reading of the Torah, where we left off last week. We finished Genesis chapter 49, So we're going to start off in Genesis chapter 50 this week. That'll be the last chapter of Genesis. Then we'll be going into Exodus. We'll be going into our time in Egypt. Be going into the birth of Moses. We'll be going also going in depth with how our captivity in Egypt, how we were treated in Egypt. We were treated then. The same here in spiritual Egypt, America. We're also treated the same ways here. We'll be going into that. We'll also be going into a little bit of what exactly Israel was, the environment that we were around and being brought up in Egypt, coming into Egypt as 70 people, 70 souls, and then growing into a multitude. What influences were we growing and seeing around us to influence us and change us from being that righteous people into being just like Egyptians? And then why do we get put in punishment? Because we become like the people we're around when we're supposed to be the light. So we'll be going into those things today. I don't really got a lot of announcements, so I'll just in brief say, if you'd like to contact us, you can contact me through Facebook at We Are Israel. Gamaria Yashala Yakanan, who's not able to be here today, you can contact him. Also through Facebook at Brandon Daniels, Yakanan Maccabees. Also, as we always say, we have a Facebook group. If you're not part of, please join, called The Rise of the Chosen. Also, you can catch us here on YouTube at ACE Red Pill Reality, and we also have our other channel, ACE Reloaded. So if you follow us, please like, share, and subscribe to those channels. And also to donate, as it says across the bottom of the screen, if you'd like to help out the ministry and donate to our camp and school to help out with us, you can do so at Cash App through # Hebrew Chosen Elect, and that will be running across the screen, the whole class. So, any free will alms or offerings you have, that's where you can send those through. Unless you're in person, you can always bring cash. With that, we'll get straight into it and get right into Genesis chapter 50. And while I pull that up, does anybody have any questions? While I pull up the share screen. I'll take that as a no. So just hold tight while I share my screen, and then we'll get right into Genesis chapter 50. All right. And we're good to go, it looks like. Yep. So, brother Jeremiah, right? Jeremiah, Khan. You can go ahead and start when you're ready.
Verse 1?
Khan, verse 1. Genesis chapter 50.
The book of Genesis chapter 50 and verse 1. And Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept upon him and kissed him.
Okay, so just a recap. We finished off last week. Jacob had passed away. So now they're dealing with the body, and Joseph is mourning over his father. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. And the physicians embalmed Israel. Verse 3. And 40 days were fulfilled for him.
Mm-hmm.
For so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. So
this shows how important a man our forefather Jacob was. Even the Egyptians were mourning over our forefather Jacob. And remember, we have read back a while back, the Hebrews were an abomination to the Egyptians. So that just says a lot about the character of our forefather Jacob, and even goes to show how the scriptures let us know that if you live according to the Most High's ways and you're righteous, he will even make your enemies to be at peace with you. So the Egyptians who see the Hebrews as an abomination, they are mourning over our forefather for 70 days. So that he was a mighty man. He was a righteous man. And, like the prayer Manasseh says, he was a sinless man. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob never committed sin. Repentance not even being for them because of that. We're the ones need repentance. So yeah, so Jacob, he was so great that caused this mourning of even 70 days. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die in my grave which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan. There shalt thou bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury thy father, according as he made thee swear. Verse 7. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, and all the house of Joseph and his brothers, and his father's house. Only their little ones and their flocks and their herds they left in the land of Goshen. And
Matt, stop.
With him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a great company. And there came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond Jordan, and there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. Mm-hmm. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians.
Oh, it's a grievous mourning to who?
The Egyptians.
The Egyptians. So this is one that shows that the Israelites and the Egyptians, by people that don't know these cats, they don't know nothing about the people. They think they're the same people. Meaning what? Meaning that if the Egyptians was black, the Israelites was black. Go ahead. And we're going to pull up some images too, but that's a couple of verses down. But this is one just to show if somebody's saying, yeah, y'all ain't Israelites, well, how can't we be? Well, tell me why. What's so about us that's so un-Israel if the Israelites were mistaken for Egyptians? Well, you're just black, you're a nigga. That's all they can give you. Well, the Egyptians and the Israelites were mistaken as the same people. Go ahead.
This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Wherefore the name of it is called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan. Verse 12. And his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought with the field for a possession of a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre. Mm-hmm. And Joseph returned into Egypt, he and his brethren and all that went up with him to bury his father, after he had buried his father.
Okay.
And
no, go ahead.
And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil which we did unto him. Mm-hmm. And they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, Thy father did command before he died, saying, So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee now, the trespass of thy brethren, and their sin, for they did unto thee evil. And now we pray thee, forgive the trespass of the servants of the Most High of thy father. Mm-hmm. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him. And his brethren also went and fell down before his face. And they said, Behold, we be thy servants.
So now the brethren, the Israelites, the other 11 tribes, they're having what? That guilty conscience. Now Jacob's dead. They're like, well, he ain't got no reason to now he's going to exact his revenge because our father's gone. That's that guilty conscience. And Even he had already quelled that in the past. But they still, because that's when you do wrong, that's how you can't get it out of your mind. You're gonna always feel guilty about it. They can't forget themselves, and now also they're seeing like, okay, our protector is gone. So now they have that what is it? Wisdom of Solomon. Real quick, let me see. But it's the fear. Fear is nothing but a betraying of the succors which reason offers.
False evidence appearing real.
Oh, okay. Wisdom of Solomon 17:12. Just to show for that guilty conscience.
The Wisdom of Solomon. Which chapter?
17 and verse 12.
The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 12. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors, which reason offers.
So the fear that they're having is a betrayal of the succors, which is the comfort, the support, which reason offers. So you have a support and a comfort from fear when you have the no reason to believe that any punishment is due to you, because you have a clear conscience. So basically, if you know that you've done well, you can expect well. You know that you've done good, you know that I know I can expect good from the Most High. But I'm never going to forget the wrong that I did. So now, at every chance there is, that reasoning of comfort and support of my mind is going to be gone when I think about the guilt of what I did. And that's what they're going through now. Their minds, the comfort of their mind and what reason offers is betraying them because they don't have a clear conscience. And now Jacob's gone, and now they're pleading their cause all over again. The second time when they had already did it. So, so now we'll go back and look what Joseph says.
Can I give you a precept?
Oh, you want to add one? Yeah.
Add something to that.
Okay.
So when they said, when it says, and his brother, verse 18, and his brother also went and fell down before his face, and they said, behold, we be thy servants. So the book of Genesis, chapter 37, verse number 5.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brother, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and stood upright. And behold, your sheep stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheep. And his brethren said unto him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. Mm-hmm. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brother, and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream before, dreamed more. And behold, the sun and the moon and even 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brother. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brother indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brother envied him, but his father observed the same.
Mm-hmm. And they was jealous of him, and they did all this evil to him. And yeah, now we're seeing the prophecy being fulfilled.
Continue on.
Let me go back. So all this hatred they had for him because of the dream he had, and now they find themselves doing exactly what the dream had said. That's the way the Most High works. He like, for one, you can't You can't avoid his will. That dream was about his will. And then also you know, they say tell God, you want to hear God laugh, tell him what you want, right? Or tell him your plans. Well, their plans was to prevent this dream. Their plans was to go around the will of the Most High. But they made the Most High laugh. Because now guess what? You're falling down at his feet again the second time. You know, so so there's that guilt now. They know that he has all rights to come down on us. And our pops is dead, but now we're gonna see. So what did Joseph respond to that? Right? And that's verse 19.
The book of Genesis, chapter 50, and verse 19. And Joseph said unto them, fear not, for I am in the place, am I in the place of the Most High Power?
See, and that's what Joseph had understanding of. And they didn't have is the Most High Yahweh. He's the judge, the jury, the executioner. He's the writer, the editor of the story before it even happens. So, am I in the place of God? So real quick, let's from there bounce to Romans 12:19. And this is something that Joseph understood. And this is the way that Joseph was moving around, the way he was conducting himself. He wasn't an avenger of himself. He had the faith in the Most High that's his avenger who's going to repay where it needs to be repaid. And when y'all got it, you can go ahead.
The book of Romans, chapter 12, and verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith Yahweh.
And sometimes that is the trial of your faith. That's the trial of your faith sometimes. Things happening to you by other people. Because now you're going to be tried to see, do you believe that part? Do you believe that the Most High will repay? Because everybody will say it. The Most High is my power. The Most High is my avenger. But do you believe that when in your real physical life, in the real world, you're offended, or somebody's did something to you that merits, doing something back? Now, do you actually believe that the Most High, he's going to take care of that? Do you actually believe that he's going to repay? And a lot of times, even some believers, forget that, and they seek to repay themselves. They seek vengeance themselves.
You ever been on the highway and somebody pull out in front of you?
Right.
And you had in mind you want to go in front of them.
Yeah.
Go down in front of them. You gotta fight that.
Yup, you gotta fight that. That's a good example. And that's a good example because that happens quick. That's something. Yeah, that's like it's a whole bunch of reactionaries going on. He pulls in front. You mad? You ready to hit the gas, and then you ready to get in front. Maybe slow down, but yeah, you got to beat. And that's why one of the scriptures says that he will make you of quick understanding, right? Yeah. So so that's why it's important to give your mind to his word, because it becomes something you don't got to think about. It starts to become natural. So then you're of more quick understanding, more quick thought. So something that happens like that, you don't react so quick. You're already like, as soon as it happens, they trip. That's the devil.
I looked 6 times on the way up here. I gave myself over to wrath so I didn't take revenge.
Right.
You gotta.
Yup. And that's a good example. So we're not leaving that chapter, but a question to be asked: what made him ahead of his time and the true son of Abraham? What made him the example to live by today? And that's what we got to remember. This is an example we're supposed to live by today. Present time, the last days. Get down. Don't get that. So same chapter, just going to bounce to the beginning. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. 1 to 2, and then we'll drop to 9.
Romans chapter 1, chapter 12, verse 1.
Con.
Brethren, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High Power, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto the Most High Power, which is your reasonable service. and be not conformed to this world.
So Joseph wasn't conformed to this world. You know, the Egyptians, they was lustful. It was fornicators. But when the time presented itself to Joseph and his master's wife, Potiphar's wife, had him, and they was alone in the house, and he could have smashed her and went on about his business, and probably nobody ever known about it. But he was thinking about the Most High. He had that mind state. He was thinking about keeping himself holy, keeping himself acceptable unto the Most High, and he wasn't conformed to this world, or he would have took it in, you know, and went on about his business, marked it on the list of takedowns, right? But he didn't do it because he was ahead of his time, true son of Abraham, and not conformed to this world, just like Abraham, just like Isaac, just like Jacob, right? Go ahead.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High.
Drop to verse 9.
The book of Romans chapter 12 and verse 9. Let love be without dissimulation, abhor that which is evil.
Who knows what dissimulation means? Let me get a quick definition.
Don't let it dissolve. Don't let it end quickly.
So let your love be without dissolvement.
Don't let it run out. You in the spirit, I was just reading.
And what's something that causes a lot of people to dissimulate from their love? Trauma. It says let love be without dissimulation. And I got a definition that says concealment of one's thoughts, right? Feelings or character. So what makes your character? Your actions, right? Let love be without the concealment of those things. And like you said, trauma, right?
Hide with under a false appearance, so you fake love someone,
right?
You really don't,
right? And like you said, trauma. What's more traumatic than your own brothers, same mom, same dad, wanting to kill you, wanting to instead of killing you, throwing you in the ditch and selling you into slavery, right? It says, let love be without dissimulation. His love was without dissimulation, even through the most adverse situations, right? So, and that's an example we really need to see today, because there's a lot of bad examples, even inside the so-called Israelite community, the so-called out of the world community. We got to start looking at Joseph. We get offended way too easy. Like, cats need to learn how to, if I can't agree to disagree, or I can't, if I can't deal with you, to just walk away. We need to learn to what it say, if warn a heresy of his ways twice, paraphrasing, and if he don't come around to what you're trying to bring out, to let him be as a heathen man.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to start doing that a little more, instead of wanting to battle, wanting to fight, going back and forth, becoming enemies, right? If you can't find it, we can keep going, but if you know where it's at, we can hit it. Off the top, I can't think where it's at.
Now you're supposed to take if someone doesn't want to reconcile, you take the witnesses with you.
Oh, that's Matthew 18. But no, I'm talking about like when there's a heresy amongst you, and it says to basically correct them, right?
On the spot.
Correct him once, twice, but if he won't come around to your mind, the mind state of everybody else, to keep him on the outs. But the point, we ain't gotta go there. The point is, we need to start learning how to just walk away and keep somebody on the outs until we can reconcile. Until they do until they come and reconcile, or whatever. just some type of peaceful agreement instead of trying to go to war with each other, right? Joseph is a perfect example of how to carry it, how to act in these situations. He's a perfect example of letting his love be without dissimulation. So we can go ahead, keep going to verse 9. Oh, did you have it? I thought you were still looking for it.
This is on the lines of that.
Uh-huh. Okay, bring it out real quick.
First Thessalonians chapter 5, starting in verse 14. Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded. Support the weak.
So it says, warn them that are unruly, right? It doesn't say call them all types of niggas and BA niggas, which you can figure out what the BA stands for, or garden. You calling men, other men garden tools, female body parts. We don't got to go down that road with each other, or even if I see you, I'm gonna F you up. Why we going down that road? That was what we did in the world. We're supposed to be coming out of the ways of the world. We're supposed to be figuring out other ways to deal with these situations, or even we're supposed to be learning how to avoid them from even happening.
That part,
right? A prudent man foresees the evil and avoids it, but we're finding our way into the evil, and then we're not even dealing with the evil the new way, the right way, to sometimes just walk away.
Looking for it, just looking for something to jump on.
Like even Matthew 18 says, if you go to take the brother offends you and you take him to the judge and take him to whoever, and he at the end of the day he doesn't hear nobody. It says count him as a heathen man. It doesn't say take him to the ring, right? Oh, you don't want to hear nobody. Throw the gloves on, or the hell with the gloves. Just throw the hands. It don't say any of that.
Steps you gotta take.
Huh?
Steps you gotta take.
Yeah, right. The steps you gotta take, and those steps aren't any of them, right? So perfect example is Joseph, because none of us are being sold into slavery again by our brother. None of us are you might be at camp and somebody talk a bunch of I'm gonna come back and do this and that, and then they don't come back, right? And sometimes they probably even come back the next day and they want to hear what you got to say. But nobody's actually sitting out here and plotting to unalive you because you're just following God. We're not really at that point yet, right? And nobody's selling us, like your brother ain't selling you into slavery. It'd be real little minute problems if you really think about it. It causes so much strife, so much malice, right? Yeah, those things are coming, I know. Yeah, but just speaking on today, what we see in the community today, right? And when we're supposed to be coming out of darkness into this marvelous light, Are you still got more on that? All right, so you said 1 Thessalonians 5, right? I'm pulling it up too.
Support the weak. Be patient toward all men. Verse 15.
So patience, that's I like you said that, because it's something a lot of us, even in the truth, need to grab a hold of and get some patience about us, right? Go ahead.
Verse 15. See that none render evil for evil unto any man.
Right, and Joseph, he said, am I in the place of God? I'm not going to render. If the Most High wants to give you that evil in return, he got it. And I know for a fact he'll do it. So not render evil for evil unto any man, it says. Right? Go ahead.
Whatever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men.
See, that's the hard part. It's supposed to be the example. That means it's okay to hold the door for a white man. Right? It's okay. We know what he did. We know what he did. Right? We also know that there's a judgment for what he did. So I don't gotta like walk around with a chip on my shoulder. Right? You can be polite. You can say what's up. You know, it's a lot of things that you can act you can act like you acted in the world with certain things. You're supposed to be different. You're supposed to live according to God now. You don't have to act like, huh?
You know what I noticed?
What's that?
Just look down, see these fringes,
Mm-hmm.
and they open the door for me.
It'll happen.
I'm like, I noticed that since I'm in that back down here,
Mm-hmm.
look down and go out of their way. Women, men,
No.
I'm talking about Esau.
Yeah.
Go out of their way. I said, okay, that's okay. No, please.
Right. Because they will.
What's coming?
Yeah. And also, you can't get it in the mind. We can't get in the mind of everybody's the same because of color. Because we're going to go out and say, we're not all the same because we're the same color. See, then we become hypocrites. So we can't go out there. You don't go out there and act like, okay, I know what Esau did. So everybody that I think is Esau, they did it. They're like that. Like everybody don't wear a KK hood at night. You know, and sometimes I think, you know, that's all we think about, right?
It's okay to accept the Most High's favor, right?
Yeah, like you had a friend that was of another nation before you came to the truth. That don't change that. But you know what not to follow. So you know, okay, that friend, yeah, he's friendly to me, but he does Christmas. So I'm not going to follow his Christmas ways. I'm not going to, you know, it's not like becoming a robot. That's the point. Go ahead. Back to where you was at.
That was it.
Okay, Con. So back to Romans. Like you at the gym and you won't even get a dude workout tips because he's white, you know. Like he asks you about you know, your diet or whatever. Like, yo, man, how you get them abs like that? You like, you don't kick rocks, you don't mess with you, pale face. Nah, we ain't gotta be like that, right? So yeah, it ain't that time yet.
Not that time yet.
Steps go about. I say go.
Right, it'll be that time.
When your mark gets set.
Yeah, but we gotta think differently than we do sometimes. So go ahead. We left off at verse 9. Go ahead.
Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good.
Okay.
Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love.
That's a tough one for some of us. Right? Go ahead.
In honor, preferring one another. Not slothful in business. Fervent in spirit. Serving Yahweh.
Go ahead.
Rejoicing in hope. Patient in tribulation. Continuing instant in prayer. Distributing to the necessity of saints. Given to hospitality.
Yep. Go ahead.
Bless them which persecute you.
Whoa. Bless them which persecute you. Right? Simple enough, right? I've been seeing some activities in our own community that's not blessing those that persecute us, blessing those that even say something we don't like. I'm not seeing it. Keep going.
And, come on. Are you coming over to Thanksgiving dinner? No.
Definitely not doing that.
But here, I know you need this anyway. I'm not gonna trip on it. I know you don't want to come. You don't want to come to Passover with me, but you want me to come to the Thanksgiving feast. Now you coming to asking me for $100. That persecution. Bless and not curse. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Be of the same mind one toward another.
Yeah.
Mind not high things,
Mm-hmm.
but condescend to men of low estate.
Go ahead.
Be not wise in your own conceits.
Wise in your own conceits. Always talking about what you are. Always talking about what you did for somebody. Always talking about if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't. We gotta stop that. That's being
Conceited.
wise, right? Conceited, wise in your own conceits.
I was glad I was able to do it.
Yeah, but the part of you, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't. Like, no, if it wasn't for the Most High, He wouldn't get this level of that or get this understanding of this. You might have been a vessel, but now you're in your own. You're conceited, like you said. We gotta stop saying. We gotta stop thinking like that. Let alone coming out of our mouth to say things like that. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 17. Recompense to no man evil for evil.
Oh, real quick, and just real quick, and we saw with Joseph an example of that when he knew that he was the one that was capable of
rescuing them from the
right.
Yeah.
He told the Pharaoh, he didn't say pick me. He said pick a man of this, that, and the third qualities, and he was that, and Pharaoh came and picked him. Yeah, see that? So he wasn't wise in his own conceits. That's the example we gotta follow.
Yeah, he said, choose a man to do such.
Yep.
Sure did.
Yep. Go ahead. 17.
17. Provide things honest in the sight of all men.
Go ahead.
If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
And that's a lot of times people fall short of that. Brothers fall short of that. Sisters fall short of that. Joseph didn't fall short of it. He was the example of all these things. And, we got to, Yahushua ain't come back. We got to examine ourselves daily. And we all need to check ourselves and make sure we get, if we're veering off from that, we get back in line with this example. Get back in line with these scriptures that's coming out. So we're going to drop that. And now I provided a couple of bad examples what we should not be following, but I've been seeing, and probably we've all, or at least a lot of us have been seeing in the community. And, I'm going to play them. It's I got a couple of videos and a Clubhouse screen recording I put together. And it also in these videos, I threw in some scriptures in there too, right? So the first video, this is examples what we shouldn't be following. And, these are things that, brothers got to turn from and kind of reevaluate themselves and fix. And we all got to fix. But these videos I'm showing are, wait a minute, examples of what not to follow, because they're coming from people who a lot of us follow. Let's go back here. Let me get it to play. Let's see.
Technology doing the most. Technology always doing the most.
Okay, there you go.
kind of, we need it because unfortunately there's still big limitations or whatever. Right? It's like you can prepare a class, and then when you go to present it,
that happens all the time.
it's just
Yo,
never fails.
sometimes I'll have it pulled up, set up, good to go. Click in the one tab, then come back, and it done exited, and I gotta reset up all over again. I guess I might not be able to play that one. Try the other one. Uh-huh.
Rex, you a huge favor. And my car has a purple cup in the front seat, but not in the seat, but in the middle. Can you go grab it for me? It's got my water socket.
Let's see.
Thank you. It's not open from here. Thank you so much. I told her no, I ain't want them to drink, and then your throat started running around. Thank you. Wow.
Looks like the second one might play.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, this one's about to play, so it's just got to load up. Man, the other one, I might just play it from my phone. Because, the other one, you just need to hear it. So I can play it from my phone. And while this loads, that's what I'm going to do. Because there ain't no video for Clubhouse, so I really don't need the video. Yeah, let's see. Screen recording. Okay, so just bear with me, right? First, okay, this looks like it's ready, so I'm gonna play it. Then I'm gonna play this other video and on my phone, and just everybody can listen to that. Okay, so
My meaning, they're Israelites. They don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. Oh, know,
Yeah.
this was
So
the,
this is remember like last year,
Yeah.
right? Or so.
it's crazy.
But
Over a corner.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was ridiculous, man.
Like this, we just read everything we just read is the complete opposite of what we see with these cats in their scriptures. So Deuteronomy 32:35 says, "To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste." Right? But what do we see? We see a guy touch the chair, and now it's all out war. We see, but if you see the whole video, it showed that before the chair, they were mad that they was at the spot teaching, and the whole time they're teaching, they're provoking, trying to provoke IUIC, right?
Fighting over a corner.
But Romans 12:19, it said, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord." But we see Israelites that's in the truth, supposedly, just throwing these scriptures away, throwing them away. But the thing about it is, the Most High will not be mocked. So when we go outside of his instructions and do our own thing, do what we want to do, this is what happens. This is the other side of the coin. So in this video, it shows you what? One side threw the first punch. The other side responded and incapacitated every last one of them. And now you look silly, right? The scriptures even say that too, though. So those more scriptures coming up. But this is an example of what not to do, and you look real bad at this point. And that's what the Most High, he'll have you looking real bad. If you can't carry yourself the way he instructed you, if you can't put on that Joseph spirit, you end up looking bad like they end up looking bad. They look real bad, real foolish. And they tried to flip it. They tried to, talk shit afterwards about, I see calling them bands and all this. And Ecclesiasticus 8:1 says, "Strive not with the mighty man, lest thou fall into his hands." So they're trying to deflect. They were trying to deflect after, acting like they got jumped. We didn't see them get jumped. We saw them striving with a mighty man. Them brothers out there deep, trained up. They got they got the men of valor class. They trained for these situations, and they made them look like little brother, right? But the scriptures that told us already, strive not with a mighty man, lest thou fall into his hands. So they got mad about a chair being touched, and they strive with these men that were more mightier than them, and they fell into their hands. So the funny thing is, it could have got worse. They fell into their hands. They showed them mercy. They showed them mercy. Even with GMS. This happened before the IUIC video. Right?
Where was this one at? Here.
I think that's like somewhere. It's like I forget, but just the whole spirit, though. Right. It does.
Sets us back.
But even worse, the example though for other like new people. So Proverbs 14:16 said, "A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth." It said, "He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated." The Most High don't approve of getting out here and acting like that,
No.
right?
No.
It says, "The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous." What do you see in this video?
Month with $0 down gets you a brand.
Where's that speaker?
Which one? The Pro Blow?
Where's my speaker? Turn it on, please. Just put it right here. Put it here. Please, I want that. I want the whole speaker. Unplug it. Sorry. I got it. I got it. All right, this one's almost done. I'm going to play the next one. Scripture, Proverbs 25:8 says, "Go not forth hastily to strive, lest thou know not what to do in the end thereof, when thy neighbor hath put thee to shame." So we was instructed not to do this. You know, but these brothers, they did it anyway, and guess what happened? They got put to shame. They got put to shame, and that's of the Most High. That's of the Most High. The Most High gave us instructions. The Most High told us how to act, told us how to treat each other, gave us the examples, Joseph being one of them, right? Some people are hard-headed. And that was an example of what not to do.
If you guys are interested, if you want more info,
Hold
click
on.
below. It's going to ask you one or two
That
key
is.
questions, and then you will send
Example of what not to do. So now here's the next one. It's a Clubhouse recording, right? I screen recorded it. This is about 28 minutes, but this is what not to do. So real quick. So, and Clubhouse is a public forum. You know, there's no video. You don't see each other's face, but you know, it's a public space that thousands and thousands to get on. So new people to Israel, new people to the truth, young men and women in the truth, or people outside looking in that might be swayed to coming into the truth or might be pushed away. This
Christianity right there.
Right.
That's Christianity.
Well, wait till you hear this video. This is on a public forum. And yeah, like you might open a room and it's about a topic involving like you and whatever party. But this is a public forum. There, other than the people that's at the top, so it's about 8 people on the stage of this recording I'm about to play. But listening, there's many people. It's about, at the time of the live, it was about 50, maybe more. But then it stays up. People hear it. People go back and play it.
Yep. Make memes out of it.
Memes, but even people that's just looking for edification, though. That's the ones I'm really more directing this at. What the importance of being an example. Forget the trolls, but at the same time, the trolls put out information too. So now, people that are really looking to learn, they come across things that trolls put out. So you're right with that. So you put it out there, trolls going to get a hold of it, then they're going to run with it. Scoffers, just non-believers,
Here fighting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all still telling us we're supposed to be unified, but y'all fighting.
Yeah, Christians. Oh, y'all make fun of us, but listen to y'all.
We had just got to a point where what's his name, Jamal Bryant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Bryant, the pastor down in Atlanta, and he had to admit, he said, the Hebrew Israelites know the Bible.
Mm.
So now a major Christian pastor in the U.S. has admitted this, finally, and then they go and do this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right,
it's like,
because somebody can take that, and they're gonna say, "Well, devil knows the Bible too," right?
come on.
Supposed to be the lights. So yeah, this is what not to do.
You only been in the truth for 5 years. You don't know nothing. You only been in the truth for 5 years.
Right, and check this out.
You got a big mouth. You got a big mouth, Op. Niggas be sparing you.
Niggas be sparing you, right?
One of their leaders, the elders, tried to have a physical fist fight with our elders about some Nipsey Hussle shit. And that's who they listen to. They listen to people like this, who Tucci Williams, they listen to people like this who thought they was gonna try to bully an elder in Israel, and it didn't happen. It won't happen. And so these niggas make diss tracks about what the Israelites. I don't think it's silly, just unbecoming. Who we trying to book? 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 And these are the people that's talking about leadership and eldership. Who we trying to book?
Oh, well, ain't nobody over here.
That's cool. And Joel, I ain't been in the truth for 5 years. You don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't say you was in the truth for 5 years. Run your mouth again before you know what I'm talking about. You said that about him, you musclehead.
No, I didn't. Genius.
I just read it.
I said who?
I just read it.
5 words at each.
I just read it. Yeshaya, who been in the truth for 5 years?
Yeah, I was asking, smart ass. I said who's been in the truth for 5 years?
Did you say it?
Because he said it earlier. It was a
Did
question
you
being
say
asked.
it?
No, nigga, it was a question being asked.
Did you say it?
No, nigga, it was a question.
Now you didn't say it, but you said
These
it.
are both
So when you
either
do you
one's a
gotta say
leader
it
and one's a
like
high-ranking member
like the one
of
you asked
camp
my wife?
of the school.
Stop
Of the
playing with
same,
me,
the
boy.
same organization.
Hey, listen,
Different organization, but they're both on Clubhouse, a public forum, right? And let's keep letting them play.
I ain't gonna wait nothing.
Watch this.
I ain't gonna wait nothing. I don't like you. I seen you in your. I seen you in. Hold on. Ain't no cuz, nigga. I'm saying it in your face. But I seen what you were saying in the comments on Pussy Yo's videos. I seen you. You got a lot of mouth. And I spared you. But now we here. So
I'm
now
supposed to
give
be
you
an
the right. Now
example.
tell me why I'm only saying it. And let's have it out. Why it's quiet?
Darash, you on mute.
Yeah, Darash, you on mute.
Oh,
You gotta let
I
him say,
said,
come on
no,
now.
no problem. Oh no, nigga, I'm here. Y'all just muted me. So here's my question. You mad because I was making jokes about people having to pay $35 for your breakdown? You fucking crying over that?
You fucking faggot. When he was saying that, he was saying I teach for money. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question.
So, in the book of Exodus, and I know you, I don't want to step on you because I know you're going to get to this.
Yeah.
In the book of Exodus, so he said, you ain't been in truth 5 years, you don't know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Exodus, chapter 2, and verse number 18.
Come on, I'm not fly.
Yes. And when they came to Ruel, their father, he said, "How is it that ye are come so soon today?" Remember the daughters of the priest of Midian, they were watering Jethro's flocks.
Right. Yep.
And Moses had came to drive away the Ishmaelites so they could water the flocks faster.
Mm-hmm.
And he helped them. And they said, "An Egyptian," because they thought he was Egyptian, because he was still living like a pagan. He was not in the truth. An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, "And where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread." And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses support his daughter.
Well, real quick. I don't think he called him an Egyptian because that he was acting like Egyptians. I think that's another one where he looked like an Egyptian. That shows that.
But remember, Moses had not met with the Most High face to face yet. So he was walking in Egyptian customs and Egyptian ways. He had just got finished committing a murder. And
well, that wasn't a murder. He was protecting his brother. I wouldn't say he was acting like Egyptians because we can't see that. We could assume it, but
he was raised in Pharaoh's house.
Yeah, and he also remember he said that he the scripture said that he despised that.
He despised what?
The knowledge of the Egyptians. I'm paraphrasing, but there's a verse that says I think it's even in Rob. We'll find it later, but
maybe he had an accent.
I think it's just he was coming from Egypt. He was coming from Egypt.
Dialect.
Yeah, he probably had the dialect. He looked like an Egyptian.
He wasn't in the truth. He was not walking in the Most High's ways at that point in time.
Right.
And then when
I just ain't gonna put on him that he was carrying the Egyptian ways either.
Huh?
I wouldn't say that he was keeping their customs, right? Because the scriptures don't say that. He despised the knowledge of the Egyptians. But you was going to hear though about being in truth for 5 years.
Right. He's the Most High does not choose people based on how much time they've been in an organization, or
right,
how long they've been studying scripture, or like that.
Right.
Like when I hear that from people, I get away from them immediately. I get far away from them, as far away from them as possible, because that's foolish talk to say, "Oh, you've only been in the truth a month. You don't know anything." Who are you?
Exactly. You don't know the person. A month. One person that's in a month could have did in that month more studying than somebody else that's been in 5 years, right? So yeah, it's crazy.
But I mean, but so you exactly.
You a king? You can be a king.
Look at that. His brothers were in the army, right? They had been in the army, serving the army. He was in the army. He was tending his father's sheep. He's the one that came and salute the lion.
And Daniel, right?
That part.
Daniel in the book of Susanna. All the elders was going off, and he was the one. A child stood up with the right judgment. See that?
You in the spirit, man. I just got reading about that. I was like, "Oh, that was the prophet Daniel the whole time."
Right. So I don't like that type of talk. Really kind of triggers me too. I'm like,
I don't like to hear that. Like,
yeah. I hate when you boast about, "Oh, well, I've been 30 years in, 10 years in." Like, okay.
I hear that in Christianity.
Ooh.
I got a college degree. I went to
JV school. I have a medical doctorate. Like, I used to hear that mess in Christianity. So when I hear it in amongst Israelite camps and talk, I'm like, yeah, let's see with that.
But you got quarterbacks that's been in the NFL for 20 years. And they was backup every year for 12 different teams in that 20 years. So what's that mean when when Cam Newton comes around or Mike Vick comes around? What does that 20 years mean? Or nothing. Like time does not quantify your intelligence level, right? Or your judgment even.
I mean, it took Moses 80 years to be qualified to serve the Most High. So that,
yeah, con. But look, it gets worse. It gets worse. I ain't even gonna say it gets better.
I'm answering your question. I'm answering. How many times did I say that? You asked me something.
I had to video this because
I'm here with you right now, pussy.
Why didn't Joseph do
you
this?
Saying that, you faggot ass nigga, while somebody saying I take it. Yo, move out the way so I can answer.
This is a head of a camp.
Now, look, you said that when a nigga is saying that. See, this is a coward. This is a nigga that's tough only in virtual, nigga, because you know where I be at. And I'm outside. I come outside. I don't talk shit in niggas' chats. And I went directly to you when you was being a bitch. When you was talking to my wife, talking about giving me a call, and we could talk about, I would slap the shit out of you. Now, the thing about this.
No. Hey, no.
I want to join. No, there'll never be a part of that.
And the thing is, if the brother did what he said, yeah, he committed an offense. But he ain't even gonna let him speak and explain his side or nothing. And you're gonna see that whatever he's talking about the wife thing, dude had already apologized. That's supposed to be gone, right? And we're gonna get the scripture on that too in a minute. But you probably already know it. The brother offends you 70 times and repents. So why is he a faggot off of something he already said my bad for? And just so you know, what he's talking about wasn't actually adultery. It was a message in the inbox. And they had already talked about it too.
Y'all niggas want digital smoke. I want real smoke. I don't like you niggas, man. And I don't like your mouth either. Y'all niggas never was built tough. Y'all niggas never outside.
Never built tough.
Like
this is what we're trying to teach the children not to act like this. Grown men not to act like this, but how you gonna convince children to see you act like this? This is a leader of a camp. A popular king.
Where is the scripture coming alive in his life?
And then he said, I swear to my mother. That's where it just paused at. So I went to the scripture, Matthew 5:34. So I'm supposed to be an example of following the scriptures. So I'm ranting, I'm cussing, I'm downing. Another man says, by saying you swear not at all. Neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool. Neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But and I'm going slow because I'm expanding words and stuff in the video. Let your communication be gained. Nay, you don't swear on your mother or anybody else.
Don't say that on the internet. Don't say that on the
That's the example I'm supposed to be showing.
I'm gonna get some order real quick. Got you. I know.
Yo, y'all need to be paying attention.
All these niggas talk on the internet.
This is the wrong example, right?
Y'all only on the internet.
I know you talked about if you hit that man's wife, King, you are off his head. I'm gonna tell you that. But let's all right, go ahead. So let him tell what he gotta say.
So he's telling him what happened. Now he's gonna try, but he's gonna try to tell what happened.
So this is what actually happened. This nigga, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. The sister posted something. This was years ago. This is around the time that
It's 2023.
Okay, 2 years ago. This one HOS.
It's 2 years ago.
It's years, and he said he called him a liar because he said years ago. 2 is plural, ain't it? He ain't even a liar. He told the truth. That's years ago.
No, and you will never say that to me. That's the thing.
Watch this.
You will never say that to me. You will be trying to shake my hand on some oh, come on, bro, chill, bro, because I will fuck you up, yo.
I will.
And you owe me for that. Because you still talking tough. Cause you still talking tough. You owe me for that. Nah, ain't no wait. See, niggas get the other side. Fuck that internet brotherhood is the final chamber shit. That nigga's tough.
How
I seen everything you said.
Fuck brotherhood is the final chamber? Love God with all your heart and love your brother as yourself. What do you mean? What do you mean? That this is like, that's why Joseph's a good example, because what's more offensive than being sold into slavery by your blood, right?
18 years.
Right, but he didn't say F brotherhood.
Right. He could have though.
But he could have.
He could have. And
right.
He was empowered to do so.
He could have.
He had to love the Most High.
First Peter 4:11 says, "If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God." Right. That's one thing. Let him speak as the oracles of God. So if I'm offended and my response to the offense, it shouldn't go against what the Bible says. Bible says, if a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. He is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? You following? You following? Fidget man over there. Okay, good. But we're not hearing. We're hearing the opposite of what the Bible says from this brother.
Nigga, you know where can't be with. I don't know shit about you. I never seen you teach. I don't listen to you. I found about you because of Clubhouse. Because you ain't outside, nigga. I don't know who you are. You some mark-ass West Coast nigga. Now, I'm going to ask you something. Tell these niggas what you said to my wife.
It's crazy.
I feel you, brother.
Pause it to get another precept. Right. And the precept we're going to now, because this is showing like when you're in a rage, you cast off one scripture, you start to cast off many more and don't even realize you're just going on rants. He's claiming that he's not outside. He's talking about this brother if he goes out to teach or not. Sirach 3:20. Many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. That's 3:25, I believe. Without eyes, thou shalt want light. Profess not the knowledge that thou hast not. I think that's 3:25. It's around there. But okay, Con. So now he's going on the rant. He's calling him a itch, a faggot. He's not in the streets. He's not in the streets. This brother is, his whole camp is in the streets every week. Speak not what you know not. You understand? You don't know, don't say it. But this is what happens when you give into wrath and anger and malice. It's slippery slope. Right? Once you give into it, it's slippery slope. You just start to go down. And you don't slow down, you speed up. 1 Timothy 3:3. 3:3, the traits of a ruler. Slagi 3:1. So speaking of a leader, this is a true saying. If the man desire the office of a bishop, that's a leader. He desires a good work.
Bishop must be blameless.
Good work. A bishop or leader then must be blameless. You're not blameless on public forums calling other men faggots and bitches and hoes and F you up. Says good behavior.
Good behavior.
Given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker. I will F you up.
But patient and not a baller.
Not greedy of filthy lucre, but like you said, but patient.
Not a brawler.
Not a brawler. Not a I will F you up. Not a brawler.
Nigga call me a rapist. I seen you in there.
No,
I seen you in there.
Nothing. Oh, don't put me in that, my nigga.
I seen you in there with them bitches running your mouth. It was bitches talking and you, faggot.
Stop.
And I'm talking to you.
Whatever.
And I'm talking to you. I've been waiting to get at you. You can call me little, but you will never say that to me. When you see me, it's gonna be handshakes. Come on, brother. Come on.
This
brother.
sounds like niggas at a basketball court, right?
Ain't that what you said to me on the
It
phone?
felt like
Ain't that what you said to me on the phone?
yeah.
Sounds like, yeah, niggas in a rap battle that get mad at, oh, you went a little too far with that verse. Just-
It sounds like black men who make white
All these niggas tough on the internet. You be saving them. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, good point. They sound just like black people that make white men
So
money.
what transpired was 2 years ago. The sister that he was with had made a post, and I was reading through the comments. And a lot of the people, I forgot exactly what it was that her post said. It was talking about brothers not doing right by their wives or whatever. A number of individuals were saying, hey, sis, you can't be saying that, you should be doing that, so on and so forth. There were 2 particular individuals that said, y'all might just want to let her have it. She and I had a conversation. Now watch this. She and I had a conversation, and it wasn't on the phone. She and I had a conversation back and forth in messaging, which the brother Eliel saw, of course.
Why you bring him in it?
To give the fucking context.
Why you talking to my wife and messaging without me telling you you could do that?
Oh my God. Now watch this. Me and Joel had a conversation afterward.
And what you said?
Joel, what I do?
You had to apologize, right?
Joel, did I apologize?
So why you running your mouth up here?
If he never did it again, that's supposed to be gone.
Why? No.
That's supposed to be off
Why
the
you
slate.
running your mouth up here?
Yeah, that's supposed to be off the slate. It wasn't adultery. It was a damn messaging conversation, which ain't cool, but
it wasn't.
It's already off the slate.
Context that he tried to make it seem like it was.
right. That's what I'm saying, and it's off the slate. I'm supposed to be an example of that. Joseph took everything off the slate. Just because Jacob died, he said, am I in God's stead? Says, take heed to yourself. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him. So kind of rebuking, right? You don't got to call him calling your brother a bundle of sticks, a faggot, is not rebuking it, right? Anyway, if he repent, forgive him. I'm supposed to be an example of that if I'm a leader. I'm supposed to be an example of that even if I'm not a leader. This is instructions for us. If you offend against these 7 times, in one day, and 7 times in a day, turn again to thee, saying, I repent. Thou shalt, not shalt not, forgive him.
Why is you running your mouth?
But thou shalt forgive him.
When the faggot nigga is calling me a thief.
That's not what this is.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Doing shit like that. Nigga, Right?
Right.
Don't lie to
He's
me.
determined he should start.
I guess $35.
He's not.
I guess $35 is selling the truth, huh? That's what I'm doing. Is that what I'm doing?
I'd have to look it up off top. I can't think, but
No, ain't don't let me finish. Y'all niggas hear what I'm asking them. You're not gonna make them answer that?
somebody
Is
get
that
him.
what I'm doing? I'm selling the truth for $35. That's what I do.
What did I say that, you little?
Yes, nigga.
Got another verse coming up. But this is a spirit. It's in so-called woke Israel. That's why we saw with the UPK incident. And there's more incidents than this, right? It says 1 Corinthians 9:25. Every man, it says not just one, every man that striveth for the mastery, that means being a leader. Strive to be for the mastery, that they be temperate in all things. All things means even situations like this. I mean, especially they had already dealt with it. But you're supposed to be temperate in all things. That means if you've been offended, you're supposed to be able to rebuke, handle it according to the scriptures, and still remain temperate.
Yes. Yes.
This brother don't have temperance.
Yes.
It's gone.
Yes, you did, faggot.
So how is the men under him going to learn temperance? How is the little one's going to learn temperance? They're not.
Now I'm not sparing you no more. Now you're talking again. You should be quiet forever, nigga. You should be quiet forever. Because you ain't got no traction out here. I don't give a fuck who you are, what your squad is. And you don't want the one, because I want the one. I don't give a fuck if a nigga's 6'5". Don't keep my name out your mouth. And I owe you for talking to my wife. I killed behind that girl. I owe you for
evil. He's trying to recompense his. He's not even in the
truth. Yeah, he said, I owe you for that incident with the wife. How come you didn't owe him the day after, the week after? Because you had forgave him, or maybe, matter of fact, you didn't. But he had repented, and you know what? You let it go because you had to, but you really didn't in your heart. That's what's coming out, right? First Peter 3:9, not rendering evil for evil, or railing for railing, but contrariwise, blessing, knowing that you are thereto called, that you should inherit a blessing. So we all want to inherit blessings, don't we? To get the blessing, we have to, instead of that evil for evil, railing for railing, we have to instead return blessing. Romans 12, verse 17 to 21. Recompense no man evil for evil. Provide all things honest in the sight of all men. As much, if it be possible, as much as life in you, live peaceably with all men. That's missing. That's missing.
I owe you for that. I owe you for that. Why the fuck you messaging her without my permission? Answer that. Answer that. Answer that. Why you messaging?
That's already been dealt with.
Answer that. Answer that. Why you messaging her without my permission? You would never make me shut the fuck up. I'll choke the shit out you.
I'll choke this shit. You heard that?
Don't you niggas is not.
I'll choke this shit out of you.
Been real niggas. You came in the truth.
He's yeah.
What is it? If a man, what is that?
Thinking in his heart, so is he.
So is he.
Yeah.
He's already murdered him in his mind.
This is a leader. Joel, Sons of Thunder. Head guy. Big camp, right? Known camp.
All of a sudden y'all tough, man. So don't play with me then.
What's the name of this camp?
Order.
Sons of Thunder.
Sons of Thunder.
Yeah.
Sons of Thunder. Hold on.
hold on.
Yeah, I was just about to say you might have dropped both brothers and bring it back up.
And now going to James 3 and 14, I think. Three and 14. But if you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, that's in his heart. Glory not and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. So you're giving into demonic spirits. Envying and strife is where envying and strife is, there's confusion. And every, not some, every evil work.
Not a few things.
Not a
couple
few.
things.
Every evil work.
Yeah, man. Gotta get order.
Every evil work.
Gotta get order. So,
I think for sure.
There's another 5 minutes
what
to
you
this.
just said. First and foremost,
Now it's going. Somebody else is going to come up and
you didn't join the HOI. You joined.
give another bad example. The
We
same
didn't fail you.
same check.
If anything, I gave you I gave you opportunity when your elder didn't even like you. Your really equal never liked you. I gave you opportunity on this stage on the kosher breakfast, and that's when you started getting popping because I allowed you to teach it for the people that never heard of your ass, nigga. Second of all,
Bro, right? Listen, shout out, do not flatter yourself, my nigga. Do not, you asthmatic piece of shit. Do not fucking flatter yourself, my nigga. Don't flatter
This is another so-called, right?
Nigga, shut it up. Shut it up.
That's why the Lord burnt your house down, bitch ass.
You hear that?
That's why the Lord burnt your house down, pussy.
So the brother that was speaking that said he put him on the clubhouse, which maybe he did, but his house had burnt down, right? He just said that's why Mosai burnt your house down.
Nigga,
You're not supposed to glory in your
you ain't gonna do a goddamn thing, nigga. The Lord gonna kill your fat bitch ass and your fucking wife. Fuck out of here.
Look how hurt you are when I talk the truth.
So it said,
I mean, you don't even see, and I get it because they're all wicked, so that's why they agree with each other. You don't even see the Christian leaders doing this.
here,
Nah.
stop.
They have contentions here and there at the lower level with whatever arguing over money or whatever for the church service, but this is
So James 3 again, verse 10 says, out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursings. Blessings and cursings. That was a curse. That was a curse. He just threw on him. My brethren, these things ought not to be. Like but Joseph said, am I in the place of God? Galatians 6:1 down. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, right? Ye which are spiritual, restore such an one. Watch this, in the spirit of meekness. So let's say that the brother was wrong. Let's say the brother needs some rebuking, needs some restoration. It's not that's why the Most High burnt your house down. And I hope he killed you and your wife and kid. That's not what the scriptures say. It says in the spirit of meekness. That don't sound like meekness to me. But this is the example I'm supposed to follow? No.
What was that, Galatians what?
6:1. Considering thyself that you are also tempted. Bear ye one another's burdens. Wait, what did it say? Bear ye one another's burdens. And what else?
And so fulfill the law of Yahweh.
You're not supposed to say that's why the Most High burnt your house down. Yo, when Judas and them was going to war in the Maccabees, and cats fell in battle, and they searched the bodies, and they had Babylonian gods with them. That was off as hell, wasn't it? And the Most High put them to death. Judas didn't say that's why. Judas ain't go back and tell their followers or family members that's why the Most High put these wicked niggas to death. They went and prayed for them men that the Most High would forgive them, having in mind the regeneration. So this is a bad example, right? It said, bear ye one another's burdens. He that thinketh himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. So Yahweh is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well-doing. Let us not be weary in well-doing. Once again, let us not be weary in well-doing. Not, I'm going to F you niggas up. Well-doing. For in season we shall reap, if we faint not. Right. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men. Do good unto all men. Watch this. Especially unto them who are of the household of faith. Everybody on this app, on that app, is at least somewhat of the household of faith. Some more than others. Why aren't we acting so? Right? As leaders, we should be acting the part of restoring one in the spirit of meekness, right? Speaking good things. Our actions are good. Not rendering evil for evil. Not being quick to throw hands, right? Everything that we just went over in the last half hour or so, right? Joseph didn't carry things that way. Jacob didn't. Everybody talks about, banging on Esau, but even Jacob didn't bang on Esau. Right? But we can't even act like Jacob amongst ourselves. So as a leader though, we have to show a better example. We have to be an example of being the light. And we all got to start acting more like Joseph. So from there, let's go back to the reading. We was at verse 20. Chapter 50, verse 20. Genesis. Chapter 50, verse 20.
The book of Genesis, chapter 50 and verse 20. But as for you, Ye thought evil against him, but the Most High Power meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive.
Mm-hmm.
Now therefore fear ye not, I will nourish you and your little ones.
So he's given to hospitality, even though I was offended in past. I'm still worrying about your well-being, right?
He's comforting too.
Mm-hmm.
Comforting his brother.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And your little ones. And he comforted them.
Yep, like you said.
And spake kindly unto them.
Go ahead.
And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house. And Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation, the children also of Mashir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knees. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and the Most High Power will surely visit you, and bring you out of this land, unto the land which he sware to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, the Most High Power will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence.
Mm-hmm.
So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt.
Mm-hmm. Now that's the end of Genesis 50. Exodus. Okay, I think we got time to do Exodus chapter 1. I wanted to do 2 today, but I don't think we'll have time for that. Let's so you can start reading Exodus chapter 1, verse 1.
The book of Exodus chapter 1 and verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah; Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin; Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceedingly mighty. And the land was filled with them.
So this is some time has passed, right? They came in 70, and now the whole land is filled with them, right? So it's probably like a good 100 years, maybe more. You know, it don't give us the time, but you know, the whole land was filled with them. It definitely was some time passed. So the next part, what we're going to go over, and we'll probably go over this part and then probably end it. But we're going to go over some of what the children, the children of Israel grew, what negative influences the society offered in Egypt. So we're going to go over, you know, the Egypt at this time, what society was like, you know, the like I said, the negative influences that we was growing, that our children were coming up, raised around, all those things like that. So, because we see the power of influence. Look at our people today, right? The biggest influence on us as a people is the religion that's popular, the stars that are popular, the music that's popular, the clothing styles, you know, everything that everybody else follows. It has a major influence on us as a people, right? So I got this book called The Encyclopedia of Ancient History. It's up on the screen. Just to go into a little bit of Egypt during the time that we was there, the ancient Egyptians. So we're going to read some excerpts out of this book. So, like I said, this is going into Egypt, and the first excerpt, yeah, it's from the book I have. That's what I said. Huh? What boxer? I thought you was talking about the book I had. You gotta speak up. So what do you see on the screen? What are you talking about? The Ankh. So even today we see cats that like to wear the Ankh. Egyptologists or Kemet, right? So that stems from ancient Egypt. You said there's a boxer, that wears it, right? A lot of people do. I've seen a couple people at my job that wear it. You'll see a lot of black people wear the Ankh or different Egyptian imagery, right? Yeah, because a lot of us, a lot of our people are Christians, a lot of our people are Muslims, and a lot of our people are Egyptologists. They think that we're the ancient Egyptian kings, and that's where our history goes back to, which it goes back to Egypt, but we're reading in the Bible how our history goes back to Egypt. So the land of the gods is the first segment, and if you can read it, you can. I don't know if you can see it good enough.
Start from the top.
Yeah, from the top.
The ancient Egyptians believed that the ordered world in which they lived had been created out of nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos and darkness could return at any time if the proper religious rituals were not followed.
Okay.
The spirit of the gods lived inside the pharaohs, who were honored as god kings.
So they go ahead.
They looked after the everyday world of the gods.
Oh, basically, god kings, they honored their pharaohs as gods, basically, right?
They deified them.
Yeah, they deified them.
Over 2,000 gods were worshipped in ancient Egypt.
They looked after everyday world for the gods. Over 2,000 gods were worshipped. Dang.
Mm-hmm. This is why the Most High said he would destroy all the gods of Egypt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're not talking about a few.
2,000 gods means.
Pantheon of 13.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a few. He said he was going to destroy all the gods of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So when he says they look at, it says many of the gods were linked to a particular region.
Mm-hmm.
The Most High was bringing down them plagues and the frogs and the boils and the blood, all those plagues that he brought down. He was destroying these gods that were linked to these places that the Most High was destroying.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Darkness covered all of Egypt.
Yeah.
So the people, when he destroyed them, he took the people's faith away from the gods. So there is no God when there's no faith.
Mm-hmm. And 2,000 gods.
2,000 of them.
That probably means they're giving credit to just about everything to a god, like the grass god,
the grass god,
the fly god,
the air god,
the river god, the air god. There's a god controlling the hair god. There's a separate god, and I'm gonna pray to him if I'm going, my hairline's receding, or I got a bald spot forming in the back. I just gotta go do some Yeah, I just gotta go to the whichever temple or whichever priest and offer some oblations to the hair god, and in about 2 weeks I can go check with the priest again, and if it ain't back, offer a child or something, right?
And they believed that.
They believed it.
If a man believeth, so shall it be unto him. So they weren't Israelites, they were Egyptians. Mm-hmm. And the Most High willed and allowed that mess to happen. So they believed in
witchcraft works. They definitely work. Right. And we was talking about that. Go ahead.
Remember Tom Braves and what's the other sorcerer that challenged Moses? The two sorcerers that Moses.
I don't remember the names, but they was able to. I know that.
Johannes?
I forget their names, but I know what you're talking about. They was able to throw their rods on the ground, and they became snakes.
Right.
But then, because Moses had the Most High, and his wasn't fake, he devoured theirs.
Because theirs was just a illusion.
Yeah, it's just an illusion. Yeah.
But these 2,000 gods were linked to, as the prince back here said, the sun, the moon, the stars, the wind, the changing of the seasons, fertility, marriage. They had a god for everything. That was the land of the gods.
The Most High, he'll give you over.
Yep.
He'll give you over to the lies if you believe in them. Like we was talking about, we touched on last week. The Haitians and Dominicans, they got the voodoo, right?
In the Santa Maria.
Santa Maria. And that shit works to an extent because it's dealing with unbelievers, but it doesn't work on a believer.
Right here.
Once you come into the shadows, the shadow of the Most High's covering, it can't. Now it can't work on you, right? He said that because really there's nothing any old way. But amongst the unbelievers, like they be making them dolls and do shit to them, and then something goes and happens to the person that the doll was made out of. But that's because it's all unbelievers. They're being given to their own madness.
It was we were just talking yesterday, my mother and her cousin, about my great grandfather, my mother's grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He was a conjurer, so he could take and write people's names on bricks and bury the brick in the ground, and the person would die. So it was Edomites that was coming to him asking for people to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
So he was writing their names on a brick, bury the brick in the ground, and that person would die.
Mm.
That sorcery right here in this on Delmarva Peninsula, this witchcraft runs deep, but the Most High is the final power.
Mm-hmm.
There is greater is He that is in us than he that is in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that the Most High had the power to destroy all the 2,000 gods that was running around that those people were worshiping. He changed the mindset of our people that night. During those 10 plagues, he destroyed those gods of Egypt.
Right.
Because that stuff is in people's minds.
And then even with that, some of them it couldn't be fixed because some of us wouldn't let go. I want to return to Egypt. Yeah. So these are the things. And that's why I wanted to go into this, right? Because we're going to go in the reading, we're going to get into everything we just talked about, right? Him destroying the gods, going into the wilderness, being saved, and we're going to see how a lot of us still didn't have faith. During the time we was growing into this mighty multitude that covered the whole land, we were growing up, and this is what we were learning, right? So that's why that's how we got to the state we were in, coming out, being slaves, loving Egypt, because of the influences. A lot of us were liking Egypt. We're liking what Egypt has to offer the same way we do today. We like the bars open 7 days a week, right? We like on the Shabbat when we're supposed to be resting to be able to go shopping. We like those things. Not us who's come out of the world, but us that doesn't know, that are lost. Yeah, we're in the worst neighborhoods, but we like it as long as we got a liquor store. We can pull out a table and some dominoes or some cards, and we can drink, and then we can just get up tomorrow and do it all again. And all we really care about is, as long as we got a job to be able to do that, we're good, right?
Speaking of that, look what it says here.
Go ahead, keep going. Keep going. So you left off, and many gods were linked to a particular region.
Right.
Go ahead.
The mighty Amun was the god of thieves. Some gods appeared as animals. Sebek, the god of water, was a crocodile. Gods were also connected with jobs and interests. Our people are worried about their 401ks and retirement. Where they're gonna, how they're gonna buy this big home and that big bad home and that big bad, and rock all these cars and all these fashion. They were tied to jobs and interests. So okay, I wanna marry a dime piece, and I wanna live in Hollywood Hills. Let me go sacrifice to this god over here, so I can have this wife that I want and live in the Hollywood Hills. Our people are still doing that to this day.
Right.
They're still going, being given over to these different. They don't have to be Egyptian gods. But they're putting Baal ahead of the most
money.
Money.
The masters, this faces is still on there, because there's a difference in going to work because you have to go to work and getting enough, right? And chasing after mammon. Chasing after Meet the Jones. No, not Meet the Joneses. What's it called? Keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah, keeping up with the Joneses, right? I got a expedition in the parking lot. I need to move on from Ford. I need that SUV, but I need that Benz logo on the front. Then I get that Benz logo on the front. That ain't good enough. I need I need that bull on the front because now Lambos are starting to make SUVs. I need that. But I've given myself into chasing that. I always have to improve. Like I got a good house. It serves me in everything I need, even space, everything. It's warm in the winter. It's cool in the summer. I seen better though. Now I got to get that better. Now I'm not appreciative of what I got, and what I got before I had it. That's how it was, and that's how I got to it. Chasing after serving the gods that are tied to the money, still serving that slave master that we're supposed to be coming up from out of. Loving the world. It's kind of the same thing.
And being conformed to it.
Yeah. Yep. So this same way, this is what we are being influenced by today. Similar to Egypt. So during this time, this is why we were so given to wanting to return to Egypt. We was loving this. We was loving the fact of having 2,000 gods. Like today, you got it's just not presented the same, right? But America, if you get a calendar, you can look up every day and find like a holiday. Today might be Orange T-shirt Day, but they have a holiday for like every day of the year. They just have holidays where they actually close down businesses. That's not every day of the year, yeah. But you can find like Asian Day, Red T-shirt Day, just little dumb stuff like that. Hump Day.
Every Wednesday is Hump Day.
Every Wednesday is Hump Day. So it's under a different disguise. But the main ones are disguised, but they're literal folly days to certain gods. Easter, Ashtoreth, Christmas is Saturnalia and Nimrod, right?
Yeah.
It's same. It's just a different. Stop.
Thanksgiving is what?
It's just a different mask put on it.
Columbus Day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just every.
It's Thanksgiving is goes around like a fall. It goes back to idolatry. It's like a fall fest. I forget what it's called, but we even did a class on that. Every year we go into it around that time.
Bacchus. It's tied to Bacchus, the god Bacchus.
I think so. But then you got, I know Bacchus. You got the Caribbean Fest. That's definitely
Oh yeah.
Everything that this modern day Egypt celebrates is the same as ancient Egypt, just with a pretty covering on it. But yeah, so let's go back. You were at jobs and interests.
The hippopotamus goddess Talaret looked after babies in childbirth.
Mm-hmm.
Many ordinary Egyptians understood little about the region of the court and nobles, of the religion of the court and nobles.
Uh-huh.
They believed in magic, local spirits, and superstitions.
A lot of our people don't understand the religion of the courts and nobles, of the society. That's why we'd be like, I'm not celebrating Ashtaroth by doing Easter. They think that they can celebrate these idolatrous holidays, and it's not tied to idolatry. That's the same as, so back then, ordinary Egyptians understood little about religion. So people were just following what everybody does. And this is what we were growing up in and influenced by in ancient Egypt, just like today. So now you got Horus, right? You'll find this on T-shirts, the Ankh, you'll find around brothers, sisters' necks, right? Let's read about Horus. So this was one of the gods of ancient Egypt.
Horus, the falcon god, was the son of Isis, He was God of the sky and protector of the reigning Pharaoh. The name Horus meant he who is far above.
See, and who's far above? The Most High. But they're giving credit to Horus, a falcon god. Go ahead.
Here he holds the Ankh, the symbol of life. The holder of an Ankh had the power to give life or take it away. Only pharaohs and gods were allowed to carry them.
Mm-hmm. And they were also pretty vulgar, right? In their symbolism, because that Ankh it's a symbol of life because it's a symbol of sex.
So it says only pharaohs and gods could wear them, but you got everybody.
Yeah, now everybody's wearing them. Yeah. But remember, we all think we're gods even before like coming to the truth and reading in the scripture. Like, yeah, gods. We walk around with living in projects talking about we gods on the bottom, and yeah, throwing on an But lotus flower.
Lotus flower. The lotus was a very important flower to the Egyptians, to the Thais too, the Asians.
Mm-hmm.
This sacred symbol was used to represent Upper Egypt.
Mm-hmm. And even now, like in music, Wale had a song called Lotus Flower Bomb or something. Right? The goddess Nut. Check this out. Like they got a goddess called Nut. I ain't gonna go into what's funny about that, but y'all know. Anyway, goddess named Nut. Read that.
The goddess Nut covered in stars,
Mm-hmm.
was goddess of the heavens.
So they believed that the heavens had a goddess named Nut.
Covered in stars.
Right, but the Most High made the stars and moons as a light in the firmament, and
to serve us.
To serve us, not
the other way around.
Yeah, there's no goddess Nut. Go ahead.
She is often shown with her body stretched across the sky. The Egyptians believed that Nut swallowed the sun each evening. Wow, you know what? Believed that Nut swallowed the sun each evening and gave birth to it the next morning.
Wow.
She was married to the earth god, Geb, and gave birth to the gods Isis and Osiris.
See, it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Mythology. But they really believed in these things and gave credit to like these false made up gods for instead of giving credit to a creator of all this around us. There's one creator. It's not the hair god, the grass god, the dirt god, the crocodile god, the pit bull god.
What's the Anubis is the jackal god.
Yeah. So Amun of Thebes.
Amun of Thebes. Amun was originally the god of the city of Thebes. He later became popular throughout Egypt as the god of creation. By the time of the New Kingdom, Amun was combined with other powerful gods such as Ra, god of the sun, and became known as Amun-Ra. He was believed to be the most powerful god of all. Amun is sometimes shown as a ram.
See?
How ironic.
Right. So just everything take away from the actual real living God. They got holy beetles.
You said they got holy beetles. Holy beetles. Scarabs are beetles that were sacred to the ancient Egyptians. Pottery or stone scarabs were used as lucky charms, seals, or as rich decorations. That's why I don't eat that cereal. The base of these scarabs was often inscribed with stories telling of some great event.
Like it's just all made up, like bullshit. I mean, got the holy beetles that are luck. You get the beetles, they're luck. So I mean, same thing today. You got lucky rabbit's foots and four-leaf clovers. Oh yeah, everything made up, make believe.
She rocks those aunts and got that song called Four-Leaf Clover.
Yeah, and she a freak.
Yeah, she's all over. She's some type of priestess. Yeah,
she is. She's a priestess of the damn devil. Remember, listen, Outkast was they was rapping about some of the stuff they was rapping about was like the truth.
Yeah. Big boy.
Andre got with Erica,
Playing flutes and stuff, man.
huh?
He playing flutes and stuff,
Yeah,
man.
and it started with
Album playing flute.
it started like he started wearing like feathers and stuff, and now he's playing flutes.
Singing songs like the Prototype.
Yeah, the Prototype, rocking silver wigs and pretending to be a space creature, man. It's Osiris. Go to Osiris.
Osiris, king of the underworld. The great god Osiris stands dressed as a king. He was one of the most important gods in ancient Egypt.
Oh, so Osiris is the one at top left. Top left. Go ahead.
The master of life and the spirit world. He was also the god of farming. Egyptian tales told how Osiris was murdered and cut into pieces by his brother Seth, the god of chaos. Anubis, the jackal-head god of embalming, gathered the pieces together, and his sister Isis brought Osiris back to life.
Wow.
Nah, they missing a part. Didn't she take his phallus?
Yeah, but this book ain't.
Yeah,
This book is for children to possibly. Yeah. Cat mummies.
Cat mummies. The Egyptians worshipped gods in the forms of animals from the Old Kingdom onwards. The cat goddess Bastet was said to be the daughter of the great sun god Ra. Cats were so holy to the Egyptians that at one time many of them were embalmed, wrapped in linen bandages, and preserved as mummies. It is thought that bronze cat figurines and these mummified cats were left as offerings to Bastet at her temple.
Mm-hmm. The Mu cat.
Mu the cat. Cats were holy animals in ancient Egypt. They even had their own god. The Egyptians' love of cats dated back to the early farmers who tamed cats to protect stores of grain from mice. Cats soon became popular pets. The Egyptian word for cat was mew, which was rather like a mew or meow.
Mm. So they couldn't just let things have purpose, right? Yeah, cat's good for catching mice. Now it's got to be a god tied to it, and this is what we was taking part in.
Oh yeah, when we were in captivity.
Yeah, that's like the Most High doesn't just throw us in captivity unless it's for punishment. Disobedience. Mm-hmm. Jacob wasn't like we had Joseph. So even though we might not have had a book with laws in it, we were being taught. We started going off when we had a problem with Joseph. Joseph wasn't going off. Why did they have a problem with Joseph? Because they hate him that rebukes in the gate. Joseph wasn't coming back and hiding their folly, right? Joseph was reporting to his pops, letting them know what's going on, upholding the standard. We ain't want that. So before, if you read between the lines, before even going into Egypt, we wasn't trying to do the ways of the Most High. We was trying to do the ways of the other people of the land. So best believe this is what we're reading this because this is the influence and this is what we were doing. Cat gods and Osiris and holy beetles. And then becoming so mighty and a great multitude and still able to be put to shame by Egyptians. We read that through the scriptures as punishment. Isaiah said as a punishment when we after during that time he was going off, he said one will flee from 1,000, right? Even in the curses he said that if you don't follow me, one will flee from 1,000 or paraphrase.
They'll come out before you
right.
One way and you'll flee out
right.
and you'll flee
Right.
7 ways.
And you'll flee 7 ways.
They would come up with us one way, and they would flee before us 7
Mhm.
ways. But
Right.
we didn't want
So
that.
his judgment didn't just start when we got the Torah. That's when he gave us codified, gave us it. He had Moses write it. But Abraham was aware. He said, Abraham, I know him, he'll teach his family my laws, statutes, commandments. So we had those teachings, but we liked beetles instead. We like mummified cats.
Remember, the Most High had breathed the word into us
Mhm.
when Adam became a living vessel.
Yes.
The scripture was breathed into us. The law was breathed into
Right.
us.
Right. That was his problem too. Exactly. That was his problem too. That whole seed line. You had righteous, then you had people who went off. He's all right. So priests, temples, and festivals.
Priests, temples, and festivals. Massive temples were built in honor of the Egyptian gods. Many can still be seen today. They have great pillars and
You
massive
can let him be
gates,
for now.
courtyards, and avenues of statues. Once these would have led to a shrine that was believed to be the home of a god. Ordinary people did not gather to worship in an Egyptian temple as they might today in a church. Only priests were allowed in the temples. They carried out rituals on behalf of the pharaohs, making offerings of food.
And we, real quick, and we still see that today. I went to a black-owned vegan spot like a couple years back. And they got this crusty little living room set up, like off to the left as soon as you come in. It's crusty, but it's a shrine to a Egyptian god or whatever. But it ain't even nice. The couch, or it's a chair or a couch like that in the back. Anyway, it's got all types of cracks in it. It looks like it got from a trash can, like apartments. You sit the sofa on the side. Looks like somebody drove by. Was like, that'll be perfect for my shrine. I get, yeah, it does. Sentimental value. Because it's, listen, the shrine is to the trash guy. We need that. We need that. But go ahead. Oh, where you was at? Making offerings, food.
They carried out rituals on behalf of the pharaohs, making offerings of food, burning incense, playing music, and singing. They had complicated rules about washing and shaving their heads, and some had to wear special clothes such as leopard skins. Noble women served as priestesses during some ceremonies. Many priests had little knowledge of religion and just served in the temple for 3 months before returning to their normal work.
See, ain't that what we see today? The pastors don't actually know the religion. The imams don't actually know the religion. Your what's that dude name? Your 21 keys or whatever. He don't actually know the religion. Your 19 keys. He don't actually know the religion. TD Jakes don't actually know the religion. Who's that? Who's that popular NOI cat? Never mind. He just like
Farrakhan.
Nah, but RZA Islam don't actually know the religion, right? It's just like in Egypt. Go ahead.
Other priests studied the stars and spells. There were many religious festivals during which the god's shrine would be carried to other temples in a great procession. This was when ordinary Egyptians joined in worship, offerings of food made to the gods, which given back to the people for public blessing.
So remember, the Israelites said, "Oh, we missed the what did they say? We missed the leeks and the cucumbers and the." Look, man, we got 2,000 gods in Egypt. Yeah, we could be going to these Egyptian ritual feasts, and we could be eating good. See that? So go ahead with Karnak.
This painting by David Roberts shows the massive temple of Karnak as it appeared in 1850. It stands out just outside of the modern town of Luxor. The temple's most important god was Amun-Ra, The site also includes courts and buildings sacred to other gods and goddesses, including Mut, the vulture goddess, wife of Amun.
Okay, Amun got a wife, the vulture.
A vulture, a
Right.
buzzard. Unclean. And Khons, the moon god, son of Amun. The great temple was enlarged and rebuilt over about 2,000 years.
Okay. Temple of Horus.
Temple of Horus. A statue of Horus, the falcon god, guards the temple of Edfu. There was a temple on this site during the New Kingdom. However, the building that still stands today dates back to the period of Greek rule. This temple was dedicated to Horus and his wife, the cow goddess.
Oh, the cow goddess. Interesting. What we make in the wilderness?
A cow.
Yeah.
A cow.
Right.
Golden cow.
Right. Go ahead.
Inside the temple, there are stone carvings showing Horus fighting the enemies of Osiris, his father.
Anubis.
Anubis the embalmer. A priest wears the mask of Anubis to embalm a body. This jackal-headed god was said to have prepared the body of the god Osiris for burial. He and his priests had strong links with mummies and the practice of embalming.
Kalabasha Temple.
Kalabsha Temple. The Kalabsha Temple was one of the largest temples in Lower Nubia. In the 1960s, the Aswan Dam was built and Lower Nubia was flooded. Many monuments, such as the temples of Abu Simbel and Philae, had to be moved. The temple of Kalabsha was dismantled and its 13,000 blocks of stone were moved to New Kalabsha, where it was rebuilt. Gateway to Isis. The temple of Philae above was built in honor of Isis, the mother goddess. Isis was worshipped all over Egypt and in many other lands too. Massive gateways were called pylons guarded the temple of Philae. Pylons guard the way to many Egyptian temples and were used for special ceremonies.
And what's the pylon? Like the
Pillars.
Pillars? Yeah. Okay.
They have those lotus flowers on the top of them.
We'll end there.
Huh?
We'll end that. We'll end at that. All right. Try exit out of this. All right, it's acting funny, but either way. So yeah, this has been the Hebrew Chosen Elect Wilmington, Delaware Shabbat service class and Torah reading. I hope it was edifying for everybody. We're gonna close out by giving all praises, glory, and honor Yahweh by Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Also, Shabbat Shalom again to everybody online, and Kwam Yashar.
Kwam Yashar.